In this video, we'll see the short circuit power dissipation. Short circuit power dissipation is one of the power dissipation in dynamic power dissipation. Dynamic power dissipation we generally have short circuit power dissipation, switching power dissipation, and glitching power dissipation. Now we will see the what is short circuit power dissipation. Short circuit power dissipation is nothing but when you give the input with a finite delay, finite rise time and fall time. At that time, the pull-up network and pull-down network is in on position. It is small amount of time. The pull-up network and pull-down network is in on position. At that time, the pull-up network is short circuited and the pull-down network is short circuited. Then there is a path between VDD and ground. Then the total charge is discharged through VDD and ground. This is nothing but a short circuit. Then the power dissipation is occurred at this short circuit is called a short circuit power dissipation. Okay. Then we will see the model for a short circuit power dissipation. See here, the short circuit power dissipation is occurred in between VT and VDD minus VTP. Okay, it is occurred in between VT and VDD minus VTP. We can clearly see this in graph. The rise time will occur in between VTN and VDD minus VTP. The fall time will occur in between VT and VDD minus VTP. That's why the total power dissipation will occur in between these two voltages. Okay. Here the rise time is in between T1 and T3. The fall time is in between T4 and T6. The T2 is at T2 position. The power dissipation is at maximum here in rise time. In at T5 position, the power dissipation is at maximum in the fall time. This is the model of short circuit power dissipation. Okay. Then in order to get the short circuit current, we need to assume some factors. That is, we need to assume both rise time and fall time of input that equal to rise time and fall time that equal to tau. Okay, let us consider the rise time and fall time equal. Practically the rise time will differ from the fall time, but here we need to assume rise time and fall time is equal, that equal to tau, and the inverter is in symmetric. Practically the inverter is not a symmetric. Here, in order to get the short circuit current, we need to assume that the inverter is in symmetric. Then beta n equal to beta p equal to beta, and then you need to assume the threshold voltage. The threshold voltage of NMOS and PMOS is equal, that equal to VT. Then see this one. Remember this one. The mean short circuit current of inverter has no load attached to. In order to get this equation, there is no load attached to it. Remember this one. There is no load attached to it in order to get this equation. That is I mean, the short circuit current I mean equal to, this is the term for a single transistor, this is the term for the second transistor, this is the term for pull up and this is the term for pull down transistor. This is the current equation for pull up transistor and pull down transistor. Then that is 2 into 1 by t means time period. Okay. Then we will assume that this is symmetric. This is symmetric means these two is in equal. These two pull up and pull down network, the beta n and beta p is equal. Then these two is also equal. Then we will get 2 into integral t1 t2 it dt. Then 2 will comes here to the outside. Then 2 into 2 will get 4. Then we will get this equation. Okay, when these two terms is in equal. Okay. Then see here, as NMOS transistor is operation saturation region. When NMOS transistor is operation saturation region, this is the current equation. This equation we will see in many topics. This is the general current equation for the NMOS transistor operating in a saturation region. What is that? Is beta by 2 V in minus Vt whole square. Substitute this equation in place of I of t. Then we will get this equation. Okay, substitute this equation in place of I of t. Then we will get this equation. Then see here we have some terms, that is V in equal to VDD by tau into T, then T1 equal to tau by VDD into Vt, and T equal to tau by 2. See here T1 in this graph, See here T1, the T1 is above the T1 is lies above the VTN. The T1 is lies above the VTN, means T1 is greater than, T1 is lies when greater than VTN. That's why we'll get this one. T1 equal to VT greater than some term. This is the additional term here, tau by VTD. Then we'll get Tn equal to tau by VTD into VT. Then T2 equal to tau by 2. See here, T2 equal to tau by 2. Consider this T1 to T3, that is tau. This is the rise time, that is tau, T1 to T3. Then in between T1 and T2, that is tau by 2. In between T2 and T3, that is tau by 2. The T2 is light in the tau by 2. The T2 is equal to tau by 2. Then we will consider as T2 equal to tau by 2. Substitute these three terms in this equation. Substitute these three terms in this equation. Then we will get substitute the limits. Then we will get this one. Substitute the limits. In place of T1 we will replace this term. In place of T2 we will replace this term. Then we will get this. And substitute in place of V in of T this one. Then we will get this one. Okay. Finally, when you substitute these three terms in the above equation, then we will get this term. Okay. Then we will consider that this term VDD by tau into T minus VT is X, and dt VDD by tau dt equal to dx. Then in place of dt, what we will substitute? Dt equal to tau by VDD into dx. Dt equal to tau by VDD into dx. Then substitute that dt in place of dt, tau by VDD into dx, and this middle term with x. Then get this equation. Then integral of x square is x cube by 3. Okay, integral of x square, x cube by 3. Then we will get x cube by 3 here. In place of x, substitute the limit VDD by 2 minus VT. Then VDD by 2 minus VT whole cube by 3. That is 1 by 3 here we will take as. Okay. Then take 2 as common. Take here it is cube. Then take 2 cube as common. Then take 2 cube as common. We will get this VDD minus 2 VT whole cube. Then take 2 cube as common. 2 cube is nothing but 8. Then 8 into 3, that will get 24 here. Okay. Then cancel this one. 2 1 jar 2 1 jar is 12 times. Then we will get here 12. Then this is the beta by 12 VDD, beta by 12 VDD, VDD minus 2 VT whole cube, VDD minus 2 VT whole cube. Then we will get tau by T. Okay, this is the current equation. This is the short circuit current for here. Then the short circuit power is given by, generally power equal to voltage into current. Here voltage is VDD, the current is this one, I mean. Then substitute this I mean here. Then we already have VDD here. Then in denominator VDD cancel. Then we will get this equation. Then replace 1 by T. 1 by T means 1 by time period with the frequency. Replace 1 by time period with the frequency here. Then we will get this one. Take VDD as common. In this term take VDD as common, then we will get this one. You can clearly see that for this equation, when clock frequency decreases or frequency decreases, the short circuit power also decreases. Then rise time and fall time decreases. This tau is nothing but rise time and fall time. Rise time and fall time decreases, this short circuit power decreases. Then supply voltage VD decreases, the short circuit power decreases. Okay, the short circuit power is depending upon here, according to this equation, supply voltage and rise time, fall time and frequency. Okay, see here I will set that the short circuit power is depends upon the rise time and fall time. When you decrease the rise time and fall time, the power dissipation at the time is decreases. When you increase this, to 5 nanoseconds, then this power dissipation at the particular time will be increases. Okay, this is the term here. When you increase rise time and fall time, the power dissipation is also increases. Okay, so far we assume that there is no load. In order to get this equation, we assume that there is no load here, but in practically there is some load at the output. Then output rise time fall time is depending on that. We will see that. Okay, here when you increase the load capacitance, at that time the short circuit current decreases. See here clearly. When you have CL equal to 0, at that time short circuit current is maximum. When you increase this load capacitance, at that time the short circuit current decreases. When you put CL equal to infinite, at that time there is no short circuit current. Virtually there is no short circuit current. This is the relationship between the load capacitance and short circuit power dissipation. When you increase the load capacitance, the short circuit power dissipation is decreases. Okay. See here, you already get this from the equation. When you decrease the voltage, supply voltage, at that time also short circuit power dissipation decreases. See here, when you have 5 VDD is equal to 5 volts, at that time, see here the fall time is high. When you decrease this, the fall time decreases. At VDD equal to 2 volts, the fall time, there is no fall time here. When you get a sharp decaying output. Okay. Where you get a sharp decaying output means VDD less than or equal to VTN plus VTP. Here consider VTN equal to 1 volt, VTP equal to minus 1 volt. Substitute this one, will get 2 volts. At 2 volts, we'll get the sharp decaying. Hence here there is no rise time and fall time. Hence actually there is no short circuit power dissipation when you decrease the VDD. When you decrease the VDD to VTN plus VTP. Okay. See here this term is elaboration here. This term, when VDD is equal to or less than VTN plus VTP, this term is elaborate here in this graph. See here, this graph is represented when VDD is less than VTN plus VTP. Here there is a sharp falling at VTN is greater than VT or VTN is equal to VT. Okay, VDD is equal to VTN or VDD is greater than VTN. There is a sharp decaying here. This term, this graph is elaborated here. Okay. And finally you conclude that the short circuit power is depends upon these terms. What are those? Input rise time, fall time, the clock frequency, the load capacitance, the gate sizing and the supply voltage. Okay. Finally you conclude that the short circuit power dissipation will depends on rise time, fall time, clock frequency, load capacitance, gate sizing and supply voltage. Okay. We always said that virtually there is no short circuit power dissipation here when you decrease the VDD. When you increase the CL, virtually there is no short circuit power dissipation. Actually this is not happen. When CL is equal to infinity, at that time only there is no short circuit power dissipation. You can't maintain CL is infinity. Practically we maintain that less short circuit power dissipation, but we can't maintain there is no short circuit power dissipation here. That's it for short circuit power dissipation.